go. What's up, guys? Phil Gertis. I'm back. This time, a little bit of a different setting. This is Social Media Live Friday. I do the air quotes because we're not really live. Tomorrow's a crazy day. Multiple closings throughout the day. Somebody behind the camera is going to be out of town. So we are pre-shooting our Social Media Live Friday. Today, our topic is why are title companies so darn important? Well, the first thing you got to understand is I'm feeling a little under the weather. Yeah, it's the truth. I'm feeling a little under the weather. So if I start coughing, choking, if I fall underneath this desk and, just my legs go up in the air, call for help. Although it'll be short notice because the fact is this is being shot on Thursday and you'll watch this on Friday. Anyway, back to the point. Excuse my voice, excuse any coughs. I love you anyway. Social Media Live Friday. Why are title companies so important? Again, first thing you got to understand is what is a title company? So the easy way to understand this is when you're purchasing a home, there needs to be a review of all the mortgage docs. There needs to be what's called an abstract. There needs to be a deed search, make sure there's no liens on the properties, things like that. Basically, when you take ownership of a home, you want to make sure you actually own the home. You want to make sure there's no restrictions. You want to make sure everything legal has been reviewed. And when everything legal has been reviewed, you're good. Well, who reviews it? Who does the searches? Who makes sure that there's no liens? Who does all that stuff? Title companies do. Who do we work with? Sage Title. They didn't ask me to do that. We're actually at their offices right now because we just had an awesome closing with some great clients, and they were kind enough to let us use this office to pre-shoot. So here's the deal. Title companies are going to take care of the legal side of the closing and make sure your deed is in good standing and things like that. Now, why do you want to pick a good title company? Because I don't know if you know, but if you're buying a home, it's your choice. No one can tell you who to use. It is your choice as a buyer of who you're going to work with your title company. So who do I say use? Well, obviously I say Sage Title. But the thing that you gotta understand is why I say use Sage Title. And the reason is because I do all my deals almost exclusively with Sage Title. I introduce my buyers to Steve McClung, who is the title attorney for the Sage Title office that I work with, and they seem to like him. He does a great job, and he handles the title work. But guys, there's a reason why this is important. There's a reason why you wanna talk with your agent and ask them, who do you use for title? And it's because that title work has to be done right. It is a meticulous thing. The title company you use, they control a lot of your purchase transaction. So my advice is get with your agent, ask them who the best title company is or best title attorney is, depending on what state you live in and how things work, and use who they recommend. You trust your agent to help you through this process. Let them transfer that trust to the person that they trust. All right, next thing you want to understand is we say it all the time. It's so darn important to us. Real estate done right. Real estate done right. Well, part of doing real estate right is having control of your deal, having control of your transaction. Maybe you're a newer agent, maybe you're a seasoned agent. It doesn't really matter. What you want is to control as much of this transaction as possible so that you can help your clients net the best result, yield the best result. Now, here's the thing. It's really hard to do that if there's a bunch of moving pieces and they say there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Yeah, you don't want tons of chiefs out there. You want to work with people you trust. You want to work with people you're good, are going to do a good job, because when you give that name to your client, you got to understand, it's not just them that your client is counting on, it's you. They're counting on you to give a good name. So for me, one thing I know is as a home buyer, I bought plenty of homes. I always want to work with someone that I trust. So again, as a buyer, make sure you understand that part of doing real estate right for your agent is making sure that they have some control, meaning they've worked with the people that are touching your deal, touching your transaction, and that makes for a much smoother transaction. Here's a great example. My last tip. The last reason why a title company is important. Scheduling, right? For example, right now I'm working through a scheduling issue for Friday. We have a closing on Friday. The title company who we actually didn't choose is super far away, and their schedule's booked. So they're having a very hard time getting to where my clients are so that they can actually do the closing on time. So what happens in a situation like this? Well, most of the time what happens is the title company will say, there's nothing I can do. We've got to have your clients drive up here. Well, for my clients, it's like an hour away, so that's a struggle, right? Well, what do we do? Because I said that's most of the time. So what we've done is we have elicited the services of a notary who's going to actually come to our office closer to our clients and close the transaction for them. That's what you want to happen. But that only happens when you have a great agent who has good control of the transaction, who has their hands where their hands need to be, and who has trust in the people that have their hands where their hands need to be. So scheduling becomes important. Imagine if there was just no time to close this transaction tomorrow. These people wouldn't be able to buy their house tomorrow. You don't want that to be you, especially on a Friday when you're excited about getting out there on Saturday and closing your transaction on Friday, moving in on Saturday, moving in even Friday evening, and just really enjoying life. So title companies are super important. We don't talk about them enough. Most people don't know about them until it's time to buy or sell. But my advice is trust your agent. Make sure your agent does real estate right in all facets of the transaction, every step in the transaction, and make sure the title company is a great one. I love you. Phil Gertis. This is Social Media Done Right, or Social Media Live Friday. I'm all about real estate done right. I'm messing some things up, cloudy head. Anyway, love you guys. We'll see you next week for Social Media Live Friday. See ya. We're done.